The truth about Michael Jackson's death has been buried under layers of lies, half-truths, and industry secrets. On June 25, 2009, the world lost the king of pop. But what we were told, an accidental overdose, doesn't add up. What if Michael was silenced because he was too powerful, too defiant, too dangerous to the machine that built him? Welcome to The Honest American. I am John, where we dig into the darkest corners of Hollywood's untold truths. Before we unravel the chilling mystery of Michael Jackson's final days, hit that like button and smash subscribe and comment your thoughts on what really happened. So buckle up and let's expose the shadows together.
Who is the biggest pop star of all time?
Michael Jackson.
The king of pop.
I don't think people understand how big Michael Jackson was because they weren't alive when it was happening.
He could literally have people passing out in Japan.
They couldn't stand being near him. They'd freak out.
There could not be another Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson wasn't just a star. He was a revolution in human form. Born in Gary, Indiana in 1958, he was a prodigy, captivating audiences as the youngest member of the Jackson 5 by age 5. His voice was soulful, his energy magnetic. By the 1980s, he transcended music with Thriller, the best-selling album of all time, selling over 66 million copies worldwide. His moonwalk redefined dance. His videos rewrote pop culture. He broke racial barriers, dominating MTV when black artists were rarely given airtime. Michael didn't just climb to fame, he built an empire. But empires attract enemies. The higher he rose, the more eyes watched him, waiting for a crack in his armor. What was lurking in the shadows of his success? The 1990s marked a turning point. Michael's light started to dim, not by his own doing, but by forces circling him. In 1993, allegations of child misconduct rocked his world.
Before you label or condemn me, don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent.
The accusations were explosive, unproven, and settled out of court for $23 million.
Mr. Jackson has been repeatedly advised by those who stood to make fortunes in his business affairs to pay money rather than face certain false allegations. He did pay money rather than litigate 2 false allegations that he had harmed children.
But the media didn't care about nuance. They painted Michael as a pariah. His quirks, his changing skin due to vitiligo, his Neverland Ranch, his love for privacy became tabloid weapons. He was mocked, vilified, isolated.
It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, so be it.
But Michael wasn't just a victim of the press. He was clashing with the industry itself. In 2002, he called out Sony Music, accusing them of under-promoting his album Invincible and exploiting black artists. He said they treated him like a product, not a person. The record companies really do conspire against their artists, he told a crowd in London. Was he too loud? Too powerful? When you challenge the system pushes back. Who was Michael making nervous? Let's dive into the heart of the darkness. June 25th, 2009. Michael Jackson was found unresponsive in his Los Angeles mansion, officially killed by a Propofol overdose.
We have a gentleman here that needs help and he's not breathing yet.
Did anybody witness what happened?
No, just the doctor, sir. Doctor, did you see what happened, sir?
Sir.
He's pumping his chest, but he's not responding to anything, sir. Please.
Okay, we're on our way.
His personal doctor, Conrad Murray, was blamed, later convicted of involuntary manslaughter.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of...
UCLA. I can tell you, I tried the best I can. I was one man doing CPR, ventilating him with an ambu bag, and I did mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. But I wanted to help Michael wholeheartedly. I loved Michael.
But the story crumbles under scrutiny. Propofol, a surgical anesthetic, isn't something you keep bedside for insomnia. Why was it in Michael's home? Murray claimed he administered it to help Michael sleep. But the dosage, 25 milligrams, enough to knock out a grown man, was reckless.
For sleep. So what I told Michael is that we have to get you off of that substance. However, I mean, call it ideal or non-ideal, Michael Jackson is not the guy you can just say, stop it.
But it's not a treatment for insomnia. No matter what he said to you, no matter how he begged, no matter how hard it is that he is Michael Jackson asking you, the truth is, and it's the thing I don't know why you don't accept, is that you should never have given it to him. Ever.
Michael Jackson had a lot of doctors who treated him with Propofol. Conrad Murray was a doctor that treated Michael with Propofol, but with the intention of getting Michael to understand, I do not want you using this substance again. And I succeeded. You may not have liked...
But you didn't succeed, though. He died.
Let me finish. Maybe I'm not making this point very clear.
No, I'm hearing you, but you're not accepting that you thought you were doing the right thing by trying to get him off it, but still using it. Frankly, you should never have given it to him in the first place.
Court records shows gaps, missing security footage. Murray left Michael alone after giving the drug, making phone calls for nearly an hour. Why the negligence? Dig deeper, and it gets murkier. Michael was preparing for his This Is It tour, a grueling 50-show run in London, pushed by AEG Live. Friends said he was frail, overworked, and under pressure to perform at superhuman levels. Was he being drained deliberately? Michael himself was paranoid in his final months. "They're gonna kill me," he told his daughter, Paris, and close associates. Who was they? He'd been vocal about industry corruption, naming names like Tommy Mottola, then head of Sony. Some theorists point to missing security footage from his home that night. Others highlight strange phone calls Murray made.
Was that on a call that you could leave until later?
I mean, I can give, I'm giving instructions, they're doing CPR. I can basically say, this is going to be so explosive. I'm telling you what I did.
But surely that...
I'm telling you what I did. It did
surely
not
that's like, what? Wouldn't you do that
it
afterwards?
It did not prevent
You
me.
have Michael Jackson on a gurney here.
Including one to a mystery contact just before Michael stopped breathing. Toya Jackson doubled down, telling The Independent in 2010 that Michael was murdered for his music catalog, a fortune worth billions.
How do you think he died? You've been quoted as saying you believe it may have been murder. Do you still think that?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why are you so sure?
I would never, ever think differently. Because first of all, Michael told me that they were going to murder him. He was afraid. He was afraid for his life. Who was going to murder him? The people that were involved in his life, the people that were controlling him. This book, Starting Over, is about my life. And it's about Michael's life. It's the parallel between the two of our lives. We share that same life where people come into your life, wiggle their way in, control you, manipulate, control your funds, your finances, everything that you have, and you must do what they tell you to do. And that's what Michael was going through. And he knew that everything that was happening to him was not kosher, it wasn't right, and it disturbed him greatly. And he kept saying it over and over and over again. Yes, Dr. Murray was the fall guy, but it's more to it than just that. He named names. He told me people. He told me to be careful of this one and that one. And in the beginning, I didn't, it's not that I didn't believe him.
Who were the people that he was saying?
People that surrounded themselves around him. People that worked with him. People that were with him the last days.
Any specific names?
Michael wasn't capable of doing these shows that he was supposed to do. Michael only agreed to do 10, and it's because they had him on such a tight rope.
The investigation was sloppy. Key witnesses weren't interviewed. Evidence vanished. Was Murray a scapegoat for a larger plot? Michael's wealth, influence, and defiance made him a threat. Did the industry executives, promoters, or hidden players want him gone before he could expose more? The questions burn hotter than the official story. What were they so afraid he'd reveal? The music industry isn't just about art. It's a machine built on control. Michael Jackson, with his global reach and $500 million fortune, was no pawn. He owned half of Sony ATV Music Publishing, a catalog worth billions, including the Beatles' songs. That kind of power breeds resentment. In his final years, Michael spoke of being manipulated, of contracts that trapped him, of debts engineered to keep him tethered. He was planning to go independent after This Is It, a move that would have cost the industry millions. Was his death convenient timing? Look at the patterns. Tupac, Prince, Whitney Houston. Black icons who challenged the system often met tragic ends. Social media posts on X still buzz with theories, with fans citing Michael's own words, "I'm not gonna be their puppet anymore." Some point to Egg Live's relentless tour schedule, pushing a 50-year-old man to rehearse for hours daily, despite his declining health. Others whisper of pharmaceutical companies flooding Hollywood with dangerous drugs like Propofol, turning doctors into enablers. The deeper you go, the more the pieces don't fit. Why was Michael's autopsy report so vague about other substances? Why did the coroner's office delay releasing details? The truth feels just out of reach, buried under a mountain of convenient excuses. Can you hear the whispers of a cover-up?
Because Propofol was not an issue based upon the treatment that I had given Michael.
But you told the paramedics about the other drugs. Why not mention that as part of what's
some of the
occurred in the last few hours?
Some of the other things that I mentioned to the paramedics, the place was really, it was horrible.
But Propofol is the one drug that you probably would mention.
But Propofol had no effect because I understand Propofol. I use Propofol. And if Propofol is totally gone, there's no reason.
As it turns out, it was the drug that killed him. That's what the coroner found. He died from that.
But it was not related to what I had given him.
When Michael Jackson died, the world stopped. Fans flooded streets, from Los Angeles to Tokyo, mourning the man who gave us Billie Jean and Beat It. His music surged back to the charts, a bittersweet reminder of his genius. Conrad Murray's 2011 conviction felt like closure to some, but to others, it was a distraction. 2 years in prison for taking the king of pop's life. It didn't add up. Michael's children, Paris, Prince, and Blanket, were left to navigate a world without their father. Paris later spoke of his fear, saying he warned her about people who wanted to hurt him.
And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
Today, the mystery festers. On X, #JusticeForMJ trends regularly, with fans dissecting timelines and demanding a reinvestigation. Documentaries like Killing Michael Jackson raise more questions than answers, pointing to inconsistencies in Murray's story and AG's role. Michael's legacy as a black icon endures. His music, his barrier breaking, his unmatched talent. But his death remains a wound that won't heal. Was it an accident, or was the final move in a game he couldn't win? The industry keeps spinning, but the shadows of 2009 grow longer every year. What do you believe they're hiding? The truth lives on. This is The Honest American, and we've just scratched the surface of Michael Jackson's untold story. His death wasn't just a tragedy, it's a puzzle with pieces still missing. If this deep dive shook you, hit that like button, subscribe for more Hollywood truths, and drop a comment. Do you think Michael's death was an accident? Or was he taken out by forces bigger than we know? Share your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation alive. The truth doesn't stay buried forever. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.